Tennessee State House Republicans overwhelmingly passed a bill to ban gender transition procedures on minors. Good for them. And in the next week, that bill is expected to become law with the signature of the governor. William Lamberth is Tennessee State House Majority Leader. He's the one who introduced the legislation and shepherded it through. He says no child should ever have to be in the position of making permanent, life-altering decisions to disfigure their bodies, and that the state shouldn't support it or even allow it. I want you to welcome to the show, he happens to be the representative for our theater and here on our campus where we do this show. We're really proud of that. The Leader of the Majority, William Lamberth. William, great to have you here. I think you can tell the audience appreciates what you were able to get through, but there were a lot of people who didn't like what you got through, and they said, oh, this is terrible. You're keeping doctors from making decisions. But this isn't about doctors. This is about little kids and young teenagers.
Absolutely. And Governor, I'll tell you, I never dreamed in my life that we would be battling these type of issues here in Tennessee or anywhere in the world, quite frankly. But, you know, we're both recovering teenagers.
Yes.
It's been a little while for you, okay?
A long time for me,
long time.
Yes, it has.
But you remember those years, I'm sure.
Barely,
okay?
but I do.
And we made it through it. But, I mean, it's a difficult time in folks' lives. Your body is changing, you're growing. There's things happening you don't understand. And the worst thing you can do to a child who's dealing with body dysphoria or gender dysphoria, where they're uncomfortable with that process of maturing into an adult, is to say, well, I'll tell you what, if we'll just start cutting body parts off or adding body parts on or give you chemicals that will castrate you or make you sterile for life, then you'll be fine. That's the worst thing you could tell to somebody. What these children need is love and support and to be told by everyone around them that they are beautiful just how they are.
And that's an affirmation of their lives. I'm sure that in the course of this, you had some people who testified, maybe who had gone through these procedures and then regretted it. Was that a big part of helping to convince people that this legislation was necessary?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, there was one young lady that testified, and it broke my heart because I have children. I mean, I grew up in a large family. Some of my family's here today, obviously. So you've heard some of them applauding. I cheated a little bit, Governor. I had some of my family come.
Yeah, you did. You filled up the room with all your friends and constituents. So that's okay.
I've got a lot of cousins in Sumter County, okay? It happens. My dad's here. So, you know, in looking at these young people when they testified, one of the young ladies, when she was talking about what happened to her, she had depression issues. She had some other issues that she needed help with. And when she went to the doctor, they met a couple of times, and they said, well, you're transgender. That's the problem. So they put her on testosterone. She said it broadened her shoulders. It deepened her voice. And a couple of years after that, when she was 15 or 16 years old, they did a double mastectomy on this little girl.
15?
At 15, 16, right in that area. And at 18 years old, she's testifying in front of a committee as to the absolute pain and devastation that went through in her body. And what she told us is she said, before she was even a woman, while she was still a girl, they stole her opportunity to even know what it is to be a woman.
Wow.
And she looked at this committee of grown people that she didn't even know, and she said, what I'm trying to tell you is that I'm ugly, and I don't know what to do about it. And one of my colleagues, I'm so proud of him, Representative Farmer from over in East Tennessee, he called her back up there after her testimony. He looked her in the eye and he said, young lady, I want you to know this. You are beautiful. Just the way you are absolutely beautiful. Don't you ever let anybody tell you any different. That's what these children need. They need to know that it is a normal process to go through adolescence and that we love them.
What a powerful testimony that must have been. I know that there is a harsh reaction. The ACLU says they're going to sue the state of Tennessee. I know you've been called some of the nastiest names that any human being has been called. Were there moments that you just wondered if it was worth all that you have been through and that your colleagues have been through to push this? Because, you know, the elites of the world think that, well, you're just a hateful person.
When you've got a child who is in this bad a position, I had to just pray about it, look at all the scientific evidence, talk to the smartest doctors and individuals that I know out there and try to get the best guidance, talk to my constituents about, look, in Tennessee, what's best for our kids here? Because it does take a community to raise a child. And then at the end of the day, I felt confident that we were doing the right thing. And in fact, we had 74 Republicans voting for this and then 3 Democrats that voted for it as well. It, in the end, was a bipartisan effort and passed overwhelmingly in the House and in the Senate. Leader Jack Johnson in the Senate carried it very well over there, and I am confident that Governor Lee will sign this piece of legislation. So for me, I just had to pray about it and know in my heart and my soul that we're going to be saving kids' lives, we're going to be saving their dignity, we're going to be making sure that they know they are perfect just the way God made them, and that way they're able to chart the course whatever way they want.
I want to say thank you. I think the country thanks you. It's landmark legislation. I predict it's going to be copied all over the country in state legislatures, and thank you very much. Now, for our audience, you can keep up with the Tennessee House Majority Leader on social media, and as always, we've got the links for you at Huckabee.tv, so please get in contact. If nothing else, send him a note and tell him thank you and that you're praying for him, because he's going through a lot. The people are pressured. Let him know that you appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I hope you will now. The button is just below this video, and there's a little bell next to it. If you click on those, YouTube will reluctantly start letting you know when we've got a new video uploaded.